Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. So, one of the weirder projects that I'm currently embarked upon is covering one of my end islands, which is way bigger than I actually anticipated, but covering my end island in sand. I'm trying to actually terraform the entire thing into a desert, so you can see we replaced the chorus plants with cacti already, and now we're replacing the end stone with some sand. And because sand can just be placed on top of anything, that's the way we're actually doing it. So we have a lot of sand to place today. We have a shulker box, a shulker box, a shulker box, a shulker box, and then there's another shulker box with some spare sand in there too. We're going to be placing all of this today. It's going to be a very big thing, and I hope you all enjoy the ride, because if you don't, you're already stuck on it. So, I mean, bad time to point out that you want out, I guess. So, hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday evening. Sunday is the most interesting day of the week. To some people, not to me. To me, oh, I finally have the water buckets needed to make the the infinite water source we've been talking about forever. Let's do that, shall we? So let's find a hole. I guess we'll just like, right over here kind of makes sense actually, if we put some sand over here. But yeah, let's find a little place. Just right over here works for me just fine. Place this block over there, and now we could use this as like our little water area underneath the boat, and then the boat would float up. Although it's 3x3, not 2x2. So let's make an area next to the boat area, you know, man of culture over here, and then we'll place one water there and one water here. Because fun fact, in Minecraft Bedrock, you actually have 2x2 sources. But anyway, yeah, how's everyone doing this wonderful Sunday? I'm actually pretty feeling pretty good, I'd say. Like I've taken. Oh, is that cat changing color? It's got to be two cats on the same block, but it's that is the weirdest optical illusion. So yeah, now we have infinite water inside the inside the end finally, which is good. Who doesn't like infinite water? Crazy people is who. And now we can make water features in here if we really want to, which you better believe at some point we're going to. But yeah, for now, let's place some sand. Let's get this going, and let's do this. So I'm going to be really careful around the beds, because if you left trigger a bed, then terrible things happen. Don't know what word I was going for, like terrifying. Don't ask who Joe is. Sorry, GTG Destroyer. Who is this Joe you're talking about? Perhaps you could enlighten me as to who Joe is. Who is Joe, chat? Why don't you tell me, haha? I'm excited for the answer, ha. Who could it be? I'm very curious. Oh, it turns out it's actually Joe Mama. Aha! Nice stream though to help recover from this weekend. Thank you very much for the 279, Lanny McKay. I hope you have. Not Laney McKay. I don't even know at this point. Like, I've done too much mocking to understand what the actual name is. But thank you very much for the super chat. Regardless, it is appreciated, and I hope you do have a wonderful recovery, or if not a wonderful recovery, then a wonderful anti-recovery. You know what, that's just me saying I hope you get worse soon, but in a good way. But you know, why don't we have cards like that? I've always thought, okay, you know, Toycat jumping right into the controversial opinions. But I've always thought, like, you know, there's so many sentiments for like, oh, I hope you're doing well. How are you? I'm good. How about you? Hope you're well, etc. We have so many well sentiments, but they don't mean anything unless you say some amount of the time, I hope you're doing awful. Like, because humans are supportive all the time, it's hard to work out when people are actually being supportive. And therefore, that's why I'm beginning to consider my new line of unhappy birthday cards. So what you do is you send out a card on someone's birthday that you know, but you're not actually feeling great about, and you say unhappy birthday. I know you can call them a slut or whatever, like whatever you feel like calling them. And then also thank you everyone for welcome to the live stream. Thank you for the $2, sorry, Demomium, and I'm glad that you're Welsh too. But yeah, like that's my idea. Unhappy birthday, you monster. You know, like we could use some pretty brutal terms. And yeah, basically I was thinking that could be a brand new line of cards, because then when you got a happy birthday card, you'd be like, oh yeah, unhappy birthday cards are actually cheaper. So the fact that someone gave me a happy birthday card, that means they care about me. Same for like, actually, I think we should have like acquaintance cards, like, I don't know who you are, but I hope I know who you are eventually cards. Like, we are acquaintances. Our relationship isn't strong yet, but one day I hope it will be. That should be a type of card you can get someone. You know, there's a lot of like human instincts that aren't telegraphed very well via current social etiquette. And you know what would be better? Having weird cards that could help with that. Beds in the end is a terrorist move. Yeah, it's the same as having a bunch of like, oh geez, oh, I don't want to do that. It would be the exact same as having, okay, we're gonna just grab another thing real quick. And we're gonna place the cacti over there. And we're gonna hope nobody notices. But, yeah, imagine having TNT in your overworld build, how crazy that would look. But it's okay in the end because a bed doesn't look like an explosive device. And I think that's a double standard. I'd use those, but I wouldn't feel awful about giving it to somebody. You mean the unhappy birthday card or the I feel neutral about you card? Because the I feel neutral about you card would be so useful for like, you know what? Because the way most people work is they just pretend they're friends until they really can't stand someone. Then they say, oh yeah, now we're not friends. Unrelatedly, good to see you, Kyler. Or unhappy birthday, Kyler. Now I'm just being mean to my mods. No, thank you. I appreciate your service here. And if I didn't, I'd get you a I don't appreciate your service here card. If they existed. Although, you know, actually, maybe we should start that one too. You know, because, like, the way people send support, by saying, like, Emily Uplinger saying, here's $2, I wish I could give you more, you my world toy cat. Thank you, Emily Uplinger. But, like, when people send in some amount of money, it's like a financial show of caring, right? Like, it's hard to say that you care with words because everyone uses words all the time. And, you know, like, there's a non-stop sea of them. But when you show money, that's the reason that, in theory at least, live stream super chats are a great idea, because it's a way to get someone's attention in exchange for showing your end of things. But also, oh, I don't know, I can't stand anyone. There should be cards you can just get for everyone saying, I can't stand anyone, you're no exception, but also I can't stand you. What a great idea. So, Cat, you're looking pretty dank today. It's the beard, I'm telling you. I'm going to shave the beard soon. I don't know when. Like, the more ridiculous it gets, the fewer people start to comment, the more people start to think it's real. And it's like, I've got to undo this quick. You know, I'll do it on the last day of Streamless. A special can be we can shave the beard. It'll be wonderful. So, what's the point in this? Says S&M F Squirrel. The point in this is to terraform my end. I should be doing it in a more, like, delightfully looking way, so you can see more of what we're doing as we go along. I'm terrified of hurting people's feelings, so I'd never use either of those cards, says Mostly Ghostly. Okay, first of all, Mostly Ghostly. Love your username. Mostly Ghostly. Second of all, Toy Cat Tax. Also, your beard is okay. Hey, there we go, Michael Nicole. I like this. Like, oh yeah. Rather than trying to be like, it's the best thing I've ever seen, which I'd believe you if you said that. It's okay. That's the sort of thing, you know. That makes me feel a lot better than 100 people saying something's good. I hurt people's feelings all the time unintentionally. Is it really unintentionally if you do it all the time? Now you know, right? I love how lazy your hair is. Great style suits you. I wish it wasn't what suited me, but I agree that it probably does. Here's my Toy Cat tax for the road. Please name one block Papa for my grandfather that just passed. Thank you for the past week's stream. You equals yes. My nose got wildly blocked in the middle of that sentence for like 4 seconds, which is very weird. But I'm very sorry to hear that your Papa passed. Oh, Papa is the name for grandfather. That's got to be like a German thing, because like... well, anyway, so I am very sad to hear about your Papa passing. And sadly, like the stream will be a self-contained thing, so I can't promise you a block on the road, because it's like, it's not a thing that exists yet. It's going to be like a... Oh, this is very weird to see. This is very strange. It looks like I've made villager graves, right? Just to confirm here. We totally made villager graves. Hey, thank you, Amy. I'm Irish, not Welsh, but today I'm Welsh for you, says Amy. Hey, thank you very much for the £2.50. It's interesting, £2.50. Is that like exactly €3? Or did you use pounds anyway, despite being Irish? Because if so, I guess you could be from Northern Ireland, and then that could explain that one. And like, because like 50% of people there say like Irish. I mean, it is a form of Irish. I'm not going to get into this debate right here. This is not the place. Thank you, Amy, for being Welsh instead of Irish today. Thank you for this wonderful, wonderful gift to the live stream. This was a grave mistake. Aha, aha. But yeah, I definitely think like, I don't know. There's just something about this. I really feel like we've made some graves here. It's I I don't know. It's pretty nuts to see. But yeah, we're gonna continue anyway. I feel like I've almost invented something wacky that we can use. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I definitely feel like there's something to this. Yeah, it's exactly €3. I checked. Wait, is it really? Did I nail that? €3. Oh my god, never mind. Thank you so much.
These toy cat tax brackets are insane. I can't believe what I have to pay nowadays.
Thank you so much, Slamberry P. For some reason, my brain keeps reading it as Shamberry P. Blame the Irish for infecting my brain with their names. But no, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. That is crazy to see in here, Mr. Slamberry. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. You know what? Actually, you know what? Going back to my happy birthday, unhappy birthday cards. You know what? I hope you're having the best Sunday, and everyone else watching has a good Sunday. Yeah, you think about that, people. Toycat's fake laugh is what I live for, says Albie. Ha 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 ha. See, I'm laughing at you're laughing at my fake laugh. Yeah, you think about that one. You think about the complexities that lead to this being a thing that can happen. So yeah, we're going to now place the torches on top of the sand and then fill in the sand right here. I'm going to build the I'm going to build a desert village around here somewhere. I just need to find like a flat enough surface for it. Do you believe in marriage, says Laney McKay. I mean, clearly to delightful Canadian gentle women like yourself, yes. But as far as in general, as far as in the non-sarcastic sense of the word, I would say okay, this is the interesting thing about marriage, because marriage as a concept is it sounds really, really backwards, because if you love someone, why do you need the law to back that up, right? But when you move past it as a legal religious thing, or a religio-legal thing, I don't know what the word would be, like, once you move past it as both of those concepts, I'm like less anti-marriage, mostly because of the fact that, are these blocks where I'm going to place torches or cactus? I'm really not sure. Maybe they're just blocks where Endermen have dropped their things. But, yeah, basically, typical British trashing the Irish, we're going to like to subjugate ourselves to Slamberry. Oh, no, sorry, bruh, that's awful to ask Toycat. Better things to say, says Michael Nicole. But yeah, typical British trashing the Irish, we're going to like to subjugate ourselves. Oh, you actually are Irish, Mr. Slamberry. Although I guess you're probably Irish-American, because you're giving me dollars. Because last time I checked, the dollar was not the currency of the United Ireland. Or I was going to say United States of Ireland, which is not a country that exists. The United Ireland is a very controversial concept to bring up mid-sentence there. I'll plan our wedding, Ben, but I'm not religious, says Laney McKay. No, my actual beliefs on this one are that, as a religious concept, yeah, it's like a, man, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Like, when I'm talking, it's just really weird. I'm getting like, has anyone ever had this? This has only happened to me, like, this week. I'm, like, talking, and then my, like, nose is being blocked mid-talk, and then it's being resolved by the end of the words I'm saying. But, yeah, basically, I'd say, like, marriage sounds really ridiculous, especially because the legal aspect means that, oh, yeah, it's a way for you to give up 50% of your assets, you know, upon a divorce. But once you leave that to the side, once you kind of move past the legal aspect, it's a really fun idea of, like, I love someone so much. Hey, Toycat, placing sand in the Ed, would you say you're Mr. Sandman, says Helicrafter. I would say I'm Mr. Sandman, yes. Clearly. Clearly that's a thing. The Irish currency is potatoes, says Michael Nicole. Well, there you go. There's a good way to start a little fun war. My mum thinks marriage protects you, specifically from people who would otherwise abandon you. Like her, I don't believe someone who would abandon me if they could. You know, this is so, oh no! Oh! Can we take a second? Can we just appreciate what almost happened there? I have a lot of stuff on me. That was scary. I just wanna chill right here. I just wanna take a second and let's just appreciate the things we have, and then let's get back to this maybe. Okay, let's do this. So we want to place some torches down here too. Seems smart enough to do. Reduce the number of blocks that anyone can spawn on, and preferably don't look them in the eye while we're doing it. No full damage. I used my elytra to save myself. Like, I knew I was falling, so I thought I'd falling under the island, so I used my elytra. By the way, Endermen have such a hard time, like, chasing you up weird cliffs like this, because they don't know the fastest way up. Fun fact. After Toy Cat talks, slowly files divorce papers. No, okay, so I think it's a bit weird as in terms of like the aspect of like legally combining a lot of entities like that. But as far as the thing of like, I love someone so much, I'm gonna declare it to the world, because that's what, you know, marriage, before we had the concepts of politics, and arguably, depending on who you ask, before we had the concept of like, you know, the religions, you needed a way to like prove to the world like, hey, I am going to look after this, or the modern religions, let's say. I'm going to, you know, I'm not going to abandon this person. I'm going to, you know, I love them this much, and I always will. And let me prove that by saying it to lots of people. Because there are lots of things that mean nothing unless you tell other people about them. Like if you agree with me right now that you'll give me $1 million, which a lot of live stream chat does say that all the time. Like, Toy Cat, I'll give you $1 million if you say this. And it's like, do you think I'm 11 years old? Do you think that's the sort of thing I'll believe in? Because I used to have people who would say stuff like that all the time when I was like 11. Like, oh, if you lend me your pen today, I'll give you £1,000 tomorrow. And it's like, that is a believable gesture there, Gary. But yeah, so but yeah, if we leave that aside, when you don't tell people about things, they become less enforceable and less believable. That's the whole reason contracts exist. It's like putting a legal document in there into the world. So when you love someone a lot, you think to yourself, I'm never going to leave them, right? And you think they would never leave me. By having both of your families, or at least your closest people, like your friends, you know, anyone who's close to you, attend a ceremony where you admit together, like, hey, we would like to not break up ever, you know, until one of us dies or becomes less attractive. So you you have this big ceremony, and to me, it seems pretty rough on the legal thing. But as far as like, oh yeah, it's the same way if you want to lose weight. I'll give you like $2.41 the next year if you read this. Heck yeah, look at Toy Cat raking in that money. My boyfriend's Polish, living here in Ireland, and all he does is laugh at our potato usage, Lamau. You have okay. First of all, interesting that there are. I wouldn't have assumed there was such a large number of Polish in Ireland, but fun fact, apparently there are. I mean, there's at least one, which in a population of 4.5 million is a lot. But 2, thank you Zesty Zangy for becoming a channel member, and 3, I think Zesty Zangy, by the way, interesting username. Also, isn't that weird? Look at that. Look at the way that Enderman's holding that sand. It doesn't look natural. Oh god, something's weird about this block. Something is not good about. Okay, now it's gone. Marriage, Toycat 2019. So yeah, I think all sorts of concepts would be smarter if you write them down. And I would say if you're scared of marriage, scared of these sorts of things, use the same concepts for like losing weight. Say publicly, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do a thing. I know it's kind of like I'm doing the 12 days of streamless, and I didn't just start doing it. I've announced there's a big thing. One, I mean, it's probably good to tell people about streams before they're happening. But 2, now if I miss a day of streaming, there's going to be people asking me why, and therefore it's more hassle to miss a day of streaming. Which subconsciously, if not consciously, although probably consciously too, now I'm more likely to stream every day for 12 days. By announcing a goal ahead of time, you make it more likely you're going to complete it. Hey, thank you, Michael Nicole, for joining the member. Okay, now you get the cool cat logo, you get access to emojis. What more do you need? What day of Streamless is it? Says Itchy Bibst Inc. If I'm not mistaken, it's day 9 of Streamless. On the 9th day of Streamless, Toycat gave to us a desert island in the end sky, or something like that. But yeah, no. So yeah, welcome to the Emoji Club, friends. I remember you visited Australia. How does it feel to be upside down? This is so stupid, but when I was in Australia, I was genuinely confused that things weren't upside down. I knew they shouldn't have been. I knew on every logical level that's a fun joke. But that didn't stop me thinking like, huh, everything's the different way to what I imagined. So, yeah, I think try and put anything down in writing. Try and make anything a known thing in the world. Because then when you fail, it hurts more, which makes you want to fail less. This is like bad advice from most of the world. Because people say you shouldn't have to do that, you know, like, but I think self-bullying is one of the most effective tools to getting the things you want to get done. Because I think that, you know, when you're happy, you are in a good state in terms of certain things. But there are some things you can only do with a little bit of, like, anger. You know, you need all the emotions. Happy is a great emotion, but there are other emotions you need to get stuff done. Also, thank you very much for the super chat. I missed it. Egg Skittle. Do appreciate it. But yeah, sometimes I could, like, this is advice no one will ever go with, but sometimes you've got to bully yourself. Sometimes you've got to go to yourself like, yeah, you're a failure if you don't do this. You fail. You know, you suck. You can't even. I don't know. Let's make something. You can't even lose 5 pounds in 30 days. You can't even, you know, I don't know, work 10% more this week than, you know, like, set goals for yourself basically. If you having goals is basically the positive version, and I would say self-bully yourself if you fail your goals. Because personally, I can set, like, teachers used to be like, oh, set goals for yourself, and it's like, what does setting goals do for me? What does having a goal do? It reminds me I suck if I fail it, and it makes me feel, you know, it doesn't make me feel anything if I do it. I'm not incentivized to achieve any goals if I just say they're goals. But if you put them out into the world publicly, or what I like to do, self-bullying, if you're super, super mean to yourself when you don't do it, you're like, you're a failure, you know? You don't, you know, punish yourself with food. Like, you know, you don't get to eat today, you scum. This is not what you should actually do. But, like, yeah, like, I feel like, in general, people should feel better about the things they're not in control of, and feel worse about the things they are in control of. Because so many people worry all the time about, you know, like, people spend all day worrying about things that no one else even thinks about. Like, oh no, I'm sure someone today is going to notice I'm wearing the worst quality Grand Canyon National Park hoodie. It sucks, by the way. Like, if you look, it's missing, it's broken already. It's not high quality. Also, trust me, I bully myself plenty, says Lainey McKay. Hey, you're following my thing. So yeah, no, never bully yourself over things that you're not in control of, because that's what most people do all the time anyway. Use that exact same energy to encourage yourself to do things. Whatever those things are in your life you want to do. I don't know if it's exercise. I don't know if it's, you know, school related or study related. Also, today's stream is brought to you by self-bullying. Look, I mean, it sounds really bad on paper, and probably off paper as well. But if we just take paper out of this, then all of a sudden everything feels pretty fine, eh? I love you, Toycat. Do you like your YouTube career, or would you prefer a good job with YouTube on the side? I'd always recommend to anyone else, like, some form of job with YouTube as, like, a side thing. I think it makes you a more interesting place. Also, if I don't reach that tree, before the car, I fail. Also, thoughts on Mexico or Mexico? I think Mexico's a really interesting country with a really unique situation that makes it really hard for them to do a lot of things to succeed. But I think they've got a lot of hope. Also, I don't plan on getting legally married. I'm non-religious, but I'd rather get married ceremonially. We're husbands and yet have less taxes. Legend, says Garibo. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that in the UK, and... no, wait, so, in the UK, you get, like... It's basically like £200 extra if you're married, and your partner doesn't work or works slightly less than earning $15,000. In America, there's so huge savings, like tax savings, for being married. Moo. Love is moo. Moo is life. Big ol' moo, how are you? Okay, this is I'm not gonna continue with this. Chat's always there for solid advice for me. Are they giving you self-bullying tips? I feel like we missed it. But no, yeah, so like I've looked into, like, again, so I'd like to clarify. I'm straight. I'm not trying to appropriate the idea of gay marriage, which I mean, like, the word appropriate is always funny to me. But what I think is, like, I've considered, like, you know what? Why don't I just get gay married to a friend, and then I can borrow some of their tax allowance every year. But in America, like, the benefits are so huge. if you're earning money in America and you're not married, then you're losing out. You're making mistakes. The United States of America is a really interesting country because they have so many, like, they have so many tax laws that basically nudge you towards certain behaviors. Instead of saying like, hey, you should get married, it's like, here's a giant tax loophole, tax advantage. It's basically a loophole. They advise death or losing a limb for weight loss. To be fair, dying actually wouldn't make you lose 90 pounds, so they're messed up. Why though? Wysand says, rich guy from France. Because I thought I want to have a desert, and although a sand looks suspiciously like end stone, I feel like that's why it's such an appropriate block here. I'm probably going to make a desert temple in here too, just for fun and giggles. Reminder though, you should try Skyblock as a realm experiment. Yeah, that's definitely going to be my next one. I'm going to have like a bunch of Skyblocks somewhat near each other. I'd have to do it as like a private realm experiment because you could only have X number of islands. So like, I don't know, make up a number, 100 islands about 1,000 blocks apart. Maybe less than that, like 100 blocks apart each. So you'd have like a 10,000 by 10,000 block grid that everyone lives in. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. But yeah, no, so okay, here's a question. This is probably morbid. But you know what? Isn't that every Toy Cat livestream we do? I've got a fun one. If you get sawn in half by a blade at the exact middle, how much do you weigh? You know? Do you weigh half as much as before? Do you weigh the same amount? Do you count the two halves together? And if so, when you lose a limb, do you weigh less therefore? Or should you count that limb, you know? Please make of desert well. I'm going to, but I hate myself for doing it. I feel like I should not be supporting such a terrible
Toy Cat luxury tax. It's good to be Welsh.
Hey, thank you, David Solomano, for the £7.50 Toy Cat luxury tax. You know what? I am clearly I'm clearly a high-end item to you, David Solomano, and I appreciate that a bunch. But no, yeah, the US does a bunch of really interesting like nudges, like also there's one for like buying a house as opposed to renting it. You get like a deduction on your taxes for some reason. There's lots of very weird things that happen in America, and now you know about tax loopholes. Also, at the same time, majority says like, what happens when you die? What happens when you die is you stop being alive. It's pretty depressing. Unless you believe that things happen when you die, in which case life is less depressing. And now you know why people like to believe that things happen when you die, because otherwise life is finite. It's funny, humans are like so scared of the concept of like finite, like eventually going to end. Like it's scary. Every person has that moment where they're like,
Merry Christmas from the Shipley Roberts family. My husband and I watch together. Sometimes during meals, etc. So our 3-year-old now calls you IBX Sleep Cat.
Hey, thank you so much, Kelly Shipley from the Shipley Roberts family. I'm gonna guess double-barreled surname and Kelly Shipley together combines to mean that, you know, let's not dive into that now. Let's just mention the fact that thank you very much for your Merry Christmas gift. And I want to know if you're watching this. Oh Jesus, I would make this mistake. I want to know if you're watching with a younger family member. You know, is that something you look at and you go, yeah, that's... Because a lot of people recently were like, oh, it's Toy Cat. You know what, this is not a stream to watch of kids. Do you feel like it is? If I make a comment about Santa being pretend, are you going to be like, oh God, what's the deal with that? Because I still to this day think that people who said that last time were being like sarcastic, but I don't know for sure, and I feel bad about it regardless. So those are the questions I have for it. My uncle got both legs amputated, but he was overweight, so he kept talking up his loss was 30 pounds. You know, that's the problem with BMI calculators. They assume that you have all 4 limbs. It's a whole problem. But you know, I'm gonna go back to the Happy Christmas thing. I like that. I like the Shipley Roberts family. You know, like didn't know them to this point. Don't know if I'll know them past this point. But that's a sign of like, you know, again showing. If I just received a random message being like, I've known you for so long, it's like a very fake thing to say, because who knows for sure if it's real. It's like, you know, have a nice day. Do you really hope I have a nice day? Tell me about the nice things I'd like to do in my day, you know? But like, that's why I'm just like, oh wow, that family wants me to have the best birthday. And best, you know, Christmas is my birthday, I've decided. But me to have the best Christmas. And isn't that a nice thing? I think it is, personally. And I also think, you know, I can also tell that they're actual long-term viewers because they use Streamlabs. You see that? You see that, everyone, using Super Chat? I'm gonna bully you till you stop giving YouTube 30% of your money. But yeah, no, I personally am a proponent in self-bullying and telling the world about things, so the world, so you think the world's gonna bully you. The world will never bully you. Like, tell the world right now something you don't think you're ever gonna do, and promise them you're gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna go to Bali by the end of the decade. Anything you're hoping to get this Christmas, says Kylo. I hate things, and like that's my biggest problem, I guess. Like, I hate things, and that sounds like a silly statement, but like, I mean, it's true, right? Like like now I have like a physical space. If I want to get more things, I have to buy more physical space, and really, therefore, by getting more things, it's just like, this is really like an obligation to buy more storage space. Thank you for a guitar, or I don't know, whatever else people would get for a Christmas present. So yeah, sadly, like, I think this year what would make me happy is just like a £50 pair of underwear. What can make underwear cost £50? I don't know. You find out, and then you get me that. I'm not saying you specifically. Although, you know what? Internet, would you like to buy me underwear? Please don't. But like, yeah, no, I'd much love. I'm very much. I don't even like people who say experiences are better than things, because that sounds like the sort of person I'd be if I'm like, oh, I hate things, man. I like putting value into experiences, because I think experiences have the same problem where like there's only so much space in your brain. Let me tell you. Okay, so an example of this, because we have only so much space and it's always running out all the time. It's a tragedy. Let me tell you an example of this. I was speaking to a friend recently who I went to California with in like January of this year. And he mentioned something like, "Oh yeah, you and toilets there, mate. Like, just didn't get along, eh?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, every toilet we went to ended up being clogged." And I was like, "Oh yeah, ended up somehow clogging every toilet we used in America." That was a detail I ended up missing. So that experience that I spent money on, I forgot a lot of that experience, clearly. And I think that's a tragedy. Itchy Bibst Inc. Toy Cat, but I can't use PayPal on Streamlabs. Oh, that's the thing I'm actually setting up soon. Although you can't use PayPal on Google Pay, can you? Can you? I don't even know. Also, thank you, Johnny Cruz, for the 50 Filipino pesos. I'm pretty sure it's Filipino pesos. I've never actually looked into it. Ooh, I love puzzles. Thanks. Actually, I like puzzles. If you're wondering what's get me, you obviously can't buy me anything because you're on the internet, and that's weird internet chat. But get me a puzzle, like a puzzle box, a puzzle thing. I don't like things. That's a hugely generic term. I don't know, like, all the things that I want, things like physical items, I think about for a long time, then I buy them. Either someone else has to think about them for a long time from my perspective, and then buy them, or they just buy them really roughly, and it's like, well, you just wasted your own money. Give me the money for that. But if someone gives you money, it's like, well, throw that in the pile. I'm just joking. Now you can buy 2 pairs of £50 underwear, says Franklin the Sheep. Sadly, Filipino pesos are not the same as things. Streamlabs, woo, sorry for not using it. Also, fun fact, a lot of asexuals, aromantic people, get platonically married for benefits. I've never heard that one, but it totally makes sense. Like, if I was aromantic, which, by the way, if I was aromantic, like, I'm so glad I'm not, because I would genuinely just not believe people who were romantic if I was. Even right now, I have real troubles believing that most people actually love each other. And if I was aromantic, I'd be like, I'd be like a conspiracy theory that, like, love isn't real. It's a scam invented by the Tooth Fairy to make us, I don't know, steal each other's teeth or something. How do you put sand in your hand like that? It's called Pick Block. It's a very useful feature. Can you tell us a sand joke? I like the End Island. Sand, my new project. End Island. You gotta use like and, but with like a word that has S before it, so it sounds like you're saying sand. That's an easy way to get a pun in. I didn't put it off there. I'm sorry, internet. I tried my best. Greetings, fellow ace/aro people. But yeah, no, personally, I would just not believe that love is real. I would. Why'd you time me out? I'm embarrassed. I have moderators who are in charge of timing people out. I cannot be certain as to why. Someone catch me while I spoon with all this romantic talk. I have, again, I'd like to reiterate that most love seems very fake to me. You know what? I don't like sand IRL. It's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere. And if it doesn't get everywhere itself, then you know what? These Endermen are going to start moving it, apparently. Being asexual is biologically impossible. Assuming you mean, like, reproducing of itself, that is. But people use it to mean, like, no sexual. Which is weird, because A can mean that. Yeah, really it should be, like, anti-sexual. I'm unsexual. Yeah, that should be what asexual... That should be, like, what people say. I don't know why that turned into asexual. Why we don't push... Oh, no, okay, so we read about different Christmas laws and asked what they believe, says Kelly Shipley. Oh wait, so that's the same person. Okay, I was worried like, oh no, I'm gonna ruin some more people's children's Christmas. But yeah, I like that as a thing. Like, oh yeah, it's almost like that sounds like what you should do with like children and religion. Just like, you know what? Rather than telling you about the religion we like the best, here's a big book with them all in. Tell us which of these you like the most. Because I know it's like there's so many personality types in a child. And you can either assume that you can affect a child's personality, or you can assume that a personality is like pre-built in, and you just got to nurture and raise that the best you can. And personally, I think it makes a lot of sense to assume the second one. So, anyway, go back to my thing. Which, by the way, thank you, Kelly Shipley. Do appreciate it. Again, can tell the actual fan status by the use of Streamlabs for that one. I'm glad you don't push the Santa thing. I'm biased, so I'm all the sexual. Sometimes people use the same word that you would be if you're attracted to kitchenware to describe all the sexual. I think it's pansexual, right? But anyway, so the interesting thing to me about love is like it always looks so fake the way people do it because like people seem to hate each other and then they're like together this whole time and I don't know, it just like again love seems very fake on the surface to me. Like, most love looks so forced. And it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be this way, guys. You can work out ways that you'd both enjoy loving each other. And then you could maybe do those. But I guess maybe what it is like... I have to imagine there's, like, different types of what people are looking for in a partner. And maybe, like, 90% of the world is just not for me. Or 99% even. Also, thank you very much, Eric Rognerund, for the £3.75. Hope you're having a wonderful day, Eric, with a K. Yeah, that's right, Eric with a K. That spatula is looking mighty fine. Also, the number of comments we've gone saying, I don't like sand, it's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying them a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. It's the one overdone comment which I can get down with. It's like, sure, you know what? Let's do this. How can you tell if a fisherman is strong? Just check out his muscles. Toy cat is a stuffed cat after all. It's true. Just before this live stream, I wanted to talk. Is this stream about relationships now? Apparently it is. Apparently it is. I don't know who did that to me. You know what? Let's talk about the one thing that all relationships have not in common. I don't even know, actually. Yeah, no, I'm always a bit, like, concerned about diving down the relationship rabbit hole. Because, I don't know, like, relationship advice is something no one is actually qualified to give. Mark said that in capitalism, the family unit would become a way to just get more money, and that would be the only reason to get married, not for love, says Malzam. So what you're saying is, previously I was against marriage, but because I love money, I should get married anyway? I mean, it definitely is true, again, in countries like the United States, which is the most successful capitalist country around. Also, thank you, Garabo, for the £1 super chat. I'd like to note that my other message was before you mentioned the thing. It took a while to sign my con in Streamlabs. Oh, wait, before you mentioned the thing. Wait. I didn't get it before you meant the thing about whatever the benefits thing maybe. Anyway, so you know, personally, like, I don't know. I feel like you know, if we go by Marx's thing, Miles M, which again, a lot of people won't like Marx because something communism. He's a very smart person who just happened to believe in that sort of thing, which to me is like, the way I see society is there are certain ideals that push you to believe certain goals are objectively better for society, and that's why you see very smart people having... Politics is the one area where smart people disagree and sometimes can both be right. Like, the only other area where it's even close to true is like science, but in science, generally speaking, I would argue the person who wins more scientific debates is smarter, but you can win more debates about politics and still be stupid and, you know, misinformed and or incorrect, I guess you could say, because the correct solution isn't known at any given point in time. The more sand you put down, the more I want to invade your end. Yeah, I make a desert village colony. Oh yeah, that's my whole point actually. Also, chat, man, we've left behind the labels thing. You know, get with the program. What are we even talking about now? Something else. But yeah, chat. I really think that the field of relationships and sexuality and stuff, it's something no one's really properly informed enough to talk about. Because how many relationships can you have had? Like, you know, I don't know. Like, even if you're having one every month, which is, you know, still not really a long-term relationship, you'd still be on like less than 100, right? If you're in your 20s. And if that's the case, then how, you know, every single thing is unique. There are trends you might spot, but I think therefore no one can actually really give great advice, and therefore, like, I don't want to talk about things that I know that someone's gonna, like, it's gonna be wrong for someone. Like, this is why I try to be like, here's my bad advice. It'll work a lot of the time. There's like some situations that are so easy to answer, like, what should you do when you like the girl? Ask her out. What should you do if the girl doesn't like you? Don't ask her out. Or maybe she's into that, but, you know, that's advanced level stuff. The more relationships you've had, the worse you are, since you can't hold one, says Groovy Leg. Yeah, there's an interesting one too I've always thought about. How many couples... Okay, damn it, you got me back into relationship talk. Let's not do this. Okay, let me get this point out there, because it bugs me forever. How many couples that get together in high school, you know, like, they're their first boyfriend, girlfriend, they last for, you know, for over a decade. How many of them are good for each other, and how many of them are just committed to the idea forever? It makes you question, doesn't it? It makes you question. Which actually goes back to the marriage thing. I think the reason marriage is good is because you're... the reason that the marriage thing makes sense is because you're kind of being like, hey, why don't we both confirm we want this to be forever? And let's make it a bit tricky to undo that. So if we both disagree, there's like a cool-off time. Whereas if you disagree about going forever right now with someone you're with, it takes 4 seconds and they're gone. Also, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Dude, when are you going on Hot One? Says Gabriel Arvizo. I do like the guy behind it, right? Sean Evans? Sean Evans seems like a fake name. That can't be his real name. But I do think he's a good interviewer. Personally though, is that a baby villager? Even though he's a good interviewer, in my opinion, I don't know if that means that, like, you know, he focuses on celebrities mostly, that sometimes covers YouTube people. Even though I make a lot of videos, I don't have a high profile, and I'm not anywhere near a celebrity. And that's not me being like, oh, I'm trying to seem so humble. It literally is like, I don't do things that are bad. I don't do things to raise my profile, generally speaking, that most traditional celebrities and most YouTubers who want to be celebrities try to do. Like, I don't... If the work doesn't benefit my subscribers, I usually don't do it. And all the other sorts of work I do in my life aren't for publicity reasons, you know? It's for something I enjoy, or, you know, like, basically what I'm trying to say right here is I am not a celebrity. I'm a person that, like, 50,000 people know. Let's say that 1.3 million people know me. All of my subscribers still remember who I am, etc., etc. But there are lots of celebrities, you know, who might have 1 million subscribers, or lots of YouTubers who have 1 million subscribers, but they're way more known because they collab all the time and they, you know, stuff like that. So like Spino Raptoros, like, why don't you collab more? You know, why don't you do SMPF? By the way, I was invited to SMPF. I don't like, it's just on Java, so it's like, it's not appealing. Also, you're a celebrity to us. Thank you, Chris Evans. Cool guy off the stream. I assume guy. Chris can be a girl's name, and that messes me up. Like, I don't like that Chris can be a girl's name. You're not, sorry Chris's of the world, who are girls, but I feel like that should be a name that, like, because, you know, there are some gender-neutral names that, fine, like Sam, yeah. Sam short for Samuel, or short for Samantha, sure. Happy coincidence. You know, Andy, short for Andrew, or short for, what is the other Andy short for? Like Andrea and Andifa, Jamie. You know, I don't like Jamie as a guy's name. That's the reverse, actually. Yeah. Like, how about we agree? No more girls named Chris. No more guys named, you know, Jamie. Because I've known so many Jamies in my life. I've hated every single one of them. Every single Jamie has been a. And again, it's clearly that they're upset that they were given a girl's name at birth, and that they're, you know, they're trying to rebel against that. I don't like that. Also, Streamlabs is down for me. Oh, that sucks. But thank you for the $2 anyway, Mr. Garibo. Give me your S&P Earth invite. It's a bunch of popular YouTubers and me, says Superbird. Alex is gender neutral. Yeah, except Alexandria. You know, like, I get a lot of names that are gender neutral, but Jamie is a guy's name. Sucks. My brother's called Jamie. Your brother probably sucks. You know, let's be real. You like him because he's your brother. You wouldn't hang around with him otherwise. So that's the thing. So yeah, I am sure that Chris is a guy. I imagine he's a guy, in fact. But the fact that I can't be sure, despite the fact that I'm sure, that upsets me, you know? Like, when you're sure about something, but you're not allowed to be sure, it's not good. Like, you know what? Do you make more videos or streams? I'm curious, says Lainey McKay. It's really interesting because, you might... Okay, first, I'm glad that you're a guy, Chris. Oh, I'm not glad you're a guy, Chris Ellis. You know what? You can be whoever you want to be, and I'll be supportive of you, Chris Ellis. But now I can say he, and I can say this guy, which is all I want to do in the world. I just want to say this guy, you know, all the time. Also, yeah, do you make more money off streams or videos? I mentioned this briefly before, but YouTube is still the primary job that I do. Like, between the two YouTube channels that I have, that's how I make my living. And the streaming is just like a side income on top of that. Twice a year I cash out and I buy something nice for myself. It's nice, I guess. So yeah, I would say I make more money off the video. It's by a huge amount too. Like that some streams, like, we make like $300 and it's like, wow, that's a lot of fried chicken I'm gonna buy myself. But in general, the streams are good because I think it makes, like, I think on the business argument for streams is that hopefully people watch videos and that hopefully they'll one day decide to, you know, Streamlabs tip, because when you watch videos, you're worth a thousandth of a dollar roughly each. Sometimes it's like 1,000th of a dollar, sometimes like 3. But in general, the average view on a video is worth less than a cent. Whereas when the people who really like the videos have an opportunity to give $1, 100 times a single, you know, video view, or even as high as 2, and some crazy MFers like the guy earlier can give 50. You know, that's still mind blowing to me. Someone gave me $50 for this, and that kind of makes it interesting. Also, Sas Delta donates £2 and says, I've roamed the map of the whole Earth. Please join me on Xbox Delta Stream. Sadly, I appreciate using Streamlabs, but I'm sadly not going to do that. Also, Combat Donkey, thank you very much for the $2 Canadian super chat. You're my favorite YouTuber. I appreciate it. See, you know what, that right there is like a contribution worth like 100 times like watching a video, and that's cool because that means if you, I know, like, there's lots of sustainable ways that you can make money for an audience. Or, like, long-term ways. But if you make more money per person, you need a smaller audience to survive, which means that YouTubers can live longer. Or in my case, I can buy a bigger yacht of your money, yeah. Super yacht fund. I wonder how much, like, the cheapest yacht rental. That's what it's called, by the way, yacht. It's a yacht that you ride on, the big boats. You liking this, chat? You liking this? Why is Jack gender neutral? Oh, Jack can be short for... Actually, I think it's just a name by itself, or like something like that. Or it can be short for Jacqueline as a girl. I'd like to add to my list of names that I hate being gender neutral. Jack being short for Jacqueline as a girl makes me want to die. I hear that and I think, you know, like okay, there's a YouTuber I watch. Their wife is called Jacqueline. You know, Jacqueline's such a pretty name. It's like so, it sounds so elegant. And then it's like, oh yeah, Jack sounds like a kangaroo. No offense to any Jacks at the stream. Actually, offense Jacks at the stream. Also, do you live comfortably or just sustaining, says Lanny McKay? It's a really weird one to answer, and it's a really personal question. Because, like, the thing about the word comfortably, right, is, like, comfortable is usually used in place of rich, but you can be comfortable and not rich, and you can be rich and not comfortable. I spoke to my bank manager quite recently, and he manages, like, the 100 richest clients in, you know, my county in the UK. Well, it's not quite the county, it's most of the county. And, like, they're the sorts of people, even though they have, like, incomes deep in the 6 digits, they're super in debt, in different types of debts that, like, stack up over time too. And his job is to, like, manage their debt for them, to, like, help them, you know, consolidate it onto, you know, personal loans, or, you know, basically so they don't have a lot of credit card debt, because rich people don't care about what they spend. But it's really interesting to me that, like, a lot of people, you can be rich and still live paycheck to paycheck if you have the lifestyle that accommodates it. And I'd say my lifestyle is super, for the most part. Again, ignore the travel part of it, because that's weird and no one does that, I get that. Stomachache, gonna head up. Good night, mate, says Garabo. Here's my trick to solving stomachaches. Punch yourself square in the face as hard as you can, and you'll forget right about that stomachache. Do you support Brexit, says Chris Ellis. I do not usually answer politics questions on the stream. Hate to dive into that. Toycat is yes, says Combat Donkey. Thank you, Combat Donkey. You know what? Combat Donkey clearly is yes. Sadly, people tend to live to their income, says Jessica Forsyth. Yeah, it's one of the most broken behaviors that we need to like fix in schools, I'd say. Also, sorry for the personal question. My curiosity is rabbit. I usually make videos talking about the income I make on the second channel, because I can't actually talk extreme specifics on this channel because I'm part of the network, and their agreement with Google is they can't. The disclosure things means there is a third party that means that I can't tell you how much my network pays me in addition to, you know, what the ads pay, because then they, at least I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure I'm not meant to tell you. I don't think anyone's going to come after me for it. But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'll be safe about this one. But what I will say is I try to live a life that is affordable. Like, even if I had a ridiculously, when I did have a very low income, by most people's standards, for the, like, first 3 years I did YouTube, like, if I earned £750 a month, that was an insane month for me. Which is significantly below the UK average, and below the average for most developed countries. Also, Caesar or Brutus. Clearly Kaiser, which is how you say that word, by the way. It's Kaiser, for sure. But, yeah, Toycats bring the overworld to other dimensions, says Victor Martinez. Do you support Dexit? Look it up. It's going to be Germany's exit from the EU, right? Maybe Denmark. Also, opinion on brunch. It's a solid combination of breakfast and lunch. What's not to love? I remember once, I have a funny story. I had a very close friend of the female variety who shared a relationship with me. And I remember she loved the idea of brunch. Like she'd heard of it. Like, it was an English word. She knew. That's understandable. I enjoy your analytical views on topics. So question, do you enjoy reading? And if so, what's your favorite book? I used to really love reading as a kid. The internet has ruined my attention span for reading anything more, like, trying to read a book for more than, like, 10 minutes. My brain is just, like, screaming, like, where is the stimulation? There hasn't been lights beaming in your eyes for the last, you know, what's wrong with you, Toy Cat? Why is... Anyway, like, I need the stimulation, I guess, is what I'm saying, that a book sadly doesn't provide. I really love knowledge. Like, I wish I could read non-fictional books. But what I usually do is I read online, because online you can flip from topic to topic so fast, and I have, like, an ADD brain. So I'll be reading about, I don't know, I'll be reading about something simple like seals, and then from there I'll go on to, like, oh, they're actually a member of this family. Oh, they're also like whales. Wales, not be confused with Wales the country. Oh, wow, I'm Welsh too. You know, I'm going to look up, you know, like other countries that call their sub-countries countries. Because in the UK, we call our regions, our states, our provinces, or whatever if you want to call them, we call them countries. And it's like, oh, it turns out the United Arab Emirates basically does the same thing. They call them Emirates, even though they're sub-country kind of things. And then I go down the endless rabbit hole, and, you know, that's how I learn all my geography knowledge, I guess. For stupid Wikipedias. Stop stealing my sand blocks, please. It's a good thing I'm placing them faster than they're being removed. Dexit is a Pokemon thing. Oh, darn it. Oh, yeah, you're right. Pokedexit. Darn it, I tried my best. Continue your brunch story. Oh, so, yeah, it was a girl who had only vaguely heard of English, vaguely heard of brunch. And then we got brunch, and then, like, you know, was loving it, loved the brunch. And then, like, as soon as, like, you know, later that day, she's like, oh, we need to go get something to eat. And it's like, it's not dinner time yet. It's like, we're gonna eat lunch. And I was like, it was breakfast and lunch together. And she was like, why would anyone like brunch? You're just cheating yourself out of a meal in the day. And there is a big part of me that kind of feels that way. Like, you know what? I'd rather have 3 meals than combine them together. So I was Googling seals and then learned about the United Arab Emirates as a zombie lizard. You know what? Entirely factual rundown of events, actually. So, hey Toy Cat, just join the stream. Welcome to the stream, everyone who's just joining. It's a weird place to join, because I'm now going to go back to my little rant here. Because yeah, one of the biggest mistakes that we don't teach in school, one of the simple things that can improve your life so much, is like knowing. And actually, this would improve the whole world. Because if everyone did this, then collectively we'd negotiate for better, and the world, you know, like a lot of payment issues could be resolved this way. But a lot of people think the amount of money you make is the amount of money you can spend. And it's such a logical conclusion to draw, but it's the one that leads to, like I was mentioning, people who earn deep in the 6 figures being in huge amounts of debt and like not knowing how much money they even have. Because it's easy to think if you can spend money, then you can spend money. But the truth is, if you are earning, you know, let's just make up numbers. If you're earning £1,000 a month, you shouldn't be living on £1,000 a month. You should be living on, maybe, crazy thought here, like half of that. If you can live on 40% of that, that'd be crazy. Live on as little as you can. And obviously, the lower paid the job, the higher percent you need. If it is £1,000, it's really hard to pay rent and all those other things on those things. If you're curious, when I first started YouTube, the reason I was sharing a room, like a single room in a 2-bed flat with the girlfriend is it was very cheap for both of us. And it meant that even when I was, you know, like earning that small amount on YouTube, I could live by myself. I could sustain the things that I wanted to do, right? And I think even though it sounds like, when you hear people say that, you're like, oh, why are you telling me to do that? And the reason is because if you live on the exact amount you make, you never get ahead of the system, right? Like, if you are comfortable working from every day from there until you, like, die or whatever, it'll be fine. But especially, like, people who then get into debt go the other way, where, like, I paid off £70,000 of debt this year in a job the National Student Loan Service considers low income. That's seriously good, Shantrixley. See, that's the sort of advice that can actually make people much better. A lot of advice people tend to give, even though it might be in part, in fact, it's likely to be in part the fault of a lot of other people, when you, a lot of the time, it falls down to like, well, someone needs to fix this, and we gotta start now. And the easiest way is just like to know that your lifestyle and your income, they don't need to be perfectly in balance. You can have one go up without the other one going up. And that's the actual secret to being rich, because these people who make a lot of money but then spend it all, they're not rich. They just have a more expensive lifestyle. And, you know, there are lots of things that seem nice when you're rich, but they're really not. They're just more exclusive. And would you rather have... The number one thing money can buy is, like, freedom, financial... Like, security, I guess you could say, and then freedom. And a lot of people aren't buying that. Instead, they're buying, you know, Gucci, or they're buying a really, really nice house in an area that, you know, all the rich people want to live in. And it's something that, like, depresses me on one end, but also makes you realize that, like, hey... Just in case you think the whole system is stacked against you, just know that even rich people aren't rich. You can be richer than a rich person, and all you gotta do is know how money works. And I don't know. It's like the great equalizer to me, because it always seems deeply unfair that like some people are just born into worlds where they have more money, right? Like I was born into a poor family. I had to, you know, instead of having a lot of people who just like. When I turned 17, all my friends are like, oh yeah, I got my driver's license since. It's like, your parents just pay for those? Or like, oh, and then also a car. Your parent just gave you a car? Like that blows my mind that that's a concept. But it's even though it seems unfair, it's like, you know what, the equalizer is that you can just understand how money works and you can eventually get ahead of even then. Gucci is greater than security and freedom, says Noel Jasic. You know what? I will admit Gucci is actually, you know, especially fresh Gucci. None of this last year's Gucci stuff. Which is funny to me that, like, Gucci goes, like, out of style so fast. Because it's like, man, that is an expensive thing to go out of style. Hey, Andrew, mice or rats? Interesting question. Also, so many blocks are going missing. You can see the, like... Look how many... Yeah, like, okay, I need to... This is awful. This is, like, really draining my ability here. That's so true. I'm glad you think so. So I'm going to light up the islands around mine as well. I think we need to just... Oh, man, look at all these torches going missing. I definitely should be doing this first. Rats are greater than mice. Project Exterminate Enderman. Yeah, I'm going to kill the Enderman and then I'm going to light a bunch of torches. That's my genius idea here. But yeah, no, it seems super unfair, but the one equalizer is that people are stupid. And if you're not stupid like other people, then you can live past that gap. You can fix how that whole thing works. Make other islands into other biomes. Yeah, if people like this, and if I like the process enough, like getting this much dirt wouldn't be too much hard. I think sand's harder to get than dirt, generally speaking. Or like stone, I can make a cave island. That'd be fun, right? Yeah, I'd love to make a cave island. Just a whole island. It's just a giant cave. You forgot one thing to get, the cave update. Darn straight we need a cave update. I agree. Pete Mozzarella says, I'm wondering how you'd pronounce the word zloty, lol. Also took out tax after months of freeloading and evading toy cops. So even though you donated 98 pence, which I assume is 5 zloty, I actually don't know what the correct pronunciation of zloty is. I've just seen the word written down and I say it that way. When I went to Poland, I literally was just like, zloty, question mark? I do actually have some zloty lying around. Some zloty, zwoty. It's a hard word, okay? Words are really hard. I don't know how they work. What I do know how it works is this man is playing the game without looking. It's true, when I look over here, I'm looking at my stream. So I can still see it's like a 1 frame lagged though. So it's a bit painful to play, but because it's just placing desert blocks, I can look over to the left instead of looking at you. But I want to look you guys in the eyes. Oh, that rhymes. That's a good sentence. I'm going to look you in the eyes. And let's talk about your day, chat. Actually, wait. Let's do some more A&Q. Because this week I'm doing so many streams. I mean, eventually we're just going to run out of things to say, right? There's only so many unique thoughts I have in my head. And I probably ran through 99% of them already this week. So, with that in mind, let's get your unique thoughts, internet. Why did I break that block? I wanted to keep this diagonal line going so much that I was willing to do that. But yeah, chat. I want to ask, how do you find these streams? Like, do you find them on your homepage before they go live? Do you find them on your homepage after they go live? Or do you find them via Twitter? So, before live, after live, Twitter. Type one of those three things in chat right now. Even those of you who... Oh, thank you, Hello-Crafter. What are your thoughts on this show, Friends? First thing I think from the last episode, it has a lot of issues that are faced in real life. Yeah, it's a really good show. It's gonna, like, age poorly, I think. But right now, it's very good. It's a reason it's still great. Okay, after, during live, before live. So very few Twitters here, interestingly. Before live via notifs. Oh, notifications do tell you about streams before they go live. Also, thank you, Sase and Varsian. I'm going to quickly go through the rest of this. Inbox sometimes before live. Notifications when the premiere was up, and then... This isn't the premiere, though. Fun fact, this is live. Hello, internet. YouTube sends me an email every time you go live, bruh. Is it like a real email, or is it like one of those like social tab things, though? Before live. Hey, we got one Twitter. You know what? Stream was clearly not a failure now. So, it seems as though, actually, yeah, it seems like a lot of people watch the stream only after it goes live, though. So, first of all, those of you who come here before it goes live, you know, represent, right? Waiting 30 minutes before it goes live. I mean, we do call these streams, like, waiting for 30 minutes to... I just dropped sand into the end. That's unsatisfying. Should we do this some more? Isn't there something about this that's just beautiful? Just seeing the sand slowly fade away. Remember the episode of Friends where Ross tries to shag his cousin? That is a real episode of Friends. He does, in fact, try to get with his cousin. You know, haven't we all been there? Haven't we all been there? Do I have a hot cousin? I don't. I'm glad. Let's not actually. I'm gonna take a drink. I'm gonna eat my meat, and then we're gonna have to go to the overworld. So just look at my glory so far, internet. I haven't drinking water today. It's so nice after like a long time talking to just like chug some water. I love water. I sometimes wonder, like, you know what? Water, like, again, water is just a drink that's... It's a drink that's so delightful that even though it's free, people still pay for it. The economics on that one always fascinate me, because water is something that there is no reason to pay for, and yet people do anyway. Like, it breaks a lot of the... It's a very hard thing for traditional economists to explain, where it's like, oh, so you buy things because they're useful to you. And then it's like, oh yeah, even though this thing's free, you still pay for it, question mark. I bumped into my friend today. Oh man, I'm standing on a torch. Life is pain. I bumped into a friend at the supermarket today. Like, it was like 10 minutes before closing. Like, it's a Sunday, so in the UK, there are like trading restrictions on how many hours you can open on Sunday. It's the worst thing. It's one of those things where like religious people and also trade unions apparently agree on something, which is nice for them, but bad for me as someone who just wants to get some ice cream in my Sunday evening. So anyway, oh Jesus, as someone who goes to supermarkets on Sundays, I sometimes have to, like, it was very busy, and I met a friend there, and he bought 8 bottles of water, 8 2-litre bottles. I was like, you know this comes from your tap, right? And he was like, not this brand of water, it doesn't. And I was like, huh, he's that loyal to a brand that he'll choose it over free. And then I realized, you know what? Maybe my job isn't so unsafe. Oh, I can see a missing block of glass over there now. That's painful. NYC tap water is so good. The tap water where I live is like, because it's harder, it has like a flavor to it that you can't find elsewhere. Whenever I go anywhere else, I have like a real problem drinking from the tap. I don't trust the water. Especially because it goes white in a lot of places, like the fluoridization or whatever. It's a whole thing. Bottled water tastes different though. I mean, one, that's something that you believe, and two, I mean, even if it tastes different, like, even if it tastes different, it's like, it's free though. It's literally free. The value proposition is infinitely worse to consume the free things. Why does your water only come in 2-litre bottles? Only soda is allowed in 2-litre bottles. That's weird. I guess you live in America where everything's in fluid ounces except for soda, as you call it. Which is weird, I guess. Soda is such a weird word. Also, where do those zombies even come from? Let's eat their rotten flesh before we eat the steak. Let's treat ourselves, you know? We pay for the water in our taps, though. Yeah, you pay for the water in your taps and then you don't drink it. Like, it's free in the sense that the marginal cost is free. You're obviously paying for the pipes and the upkeep, etc. And it just raises the question, like, you know, you could consume the thing that you're doing that with. That is one of the choices. Actually, let's go to the... Let's take some of this. Let's take some wood. How many... Wait, so... How many torches do we get from 32? We get 2 stacks, right? Because 8 times... Yeah, we get 2 stacks. So, we'll do that 3 times. 32, 32. And now we get 2 stacks of torches. So that should help us finish the rest of the torching we need to do. Also, there's some sand lying around here that I've been meaning to grab for a while now. So, sand, 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 sand. And let's do this. We can't drink the tap water. It'll make you badly sick, says Jolie Simon. Most places that people think they can't drink the tap water, they can. Admittedly, a lot of you watching this are from countries where you shouldn't trust the tap water. Lots of parts of Mexico are like... In fact, honestly, outside the developed world, tap water is a very questionable... It's weird. A lot of countries just don't care about tap water. It's like, why would you want tap water to be good? Don't you know bottled water exists? Like, there's this huge effort to, like, de-plastic in the West, but there are countries in the not West that are just like, oh yeah, this is the clean way to get water. This is just the way. Instead of using those pipes and moving it through the ground, because those pipes aren't clean and because there's a corrupt company in charge of it, instead we literally just, we buy plastic just to move our water around. Like, the #1 consumer of bottled water in the world is actually Mexico. Fun fact. And they're also the #1 consumer of fizzy drinks. Which is why something obesity in Mexico, I heard recently. Put tap water in the fridge to make it tastier. Oh, I love cold water. A lot of people disagree with this one. But cold water is a... There we go. Nailed it. Oh, Jesus! I messed that one up. Just a little bit. The slip and slide is hard, okay? The slip and slide is hard. I'm just glad that I have feather falling boots. Or protection boots. I don't have feather falling at all. Why do you prefer Bedrock? Geometry is the lamest form of mathematics. Changed my mind. Also, so I prefer Bedrock because, partially because of force. Like, it's a kind of habit thing now. And mostly because, oh man, this isn't going to work because the boat's trapped on the torch again. Honestly, I think Bedrock just has more of a future to it. Like, it's clear that eventually, the Java's days, they're not numbered too soon. But they said console would last indefinitely, as long as the consoles themselves lasted. And that is technically true in a way, because Bedrock is, but, you know, it's a really weird business model for Mojang to provide free updates. Oh, Jesus. It's a really weird business model for Mojang to provide free updates to a game they sold once, many years ago. And not many people buy the Java edition anymore, so it doesn't take long for them to decide that actually, because the Bedrock edition is the only one that we're allowed to sell ongoing revenue through, and it's also the one where most of the sales are made anyway. It's not long till that happens, and there'll be a big riot, I'm sure, but, you know, as we learned from the console days, your opinion doesn't mean anything if it doesn't have money to back it up. Also, hey Toycat, love your channel, just subscribed recently, says Nicholas Carelio. Carolio. Thank you so much, Nicholas. I hope that you enjoy your subscription tenure to the channel. I'm glad... Oh, man, that villager. He's having a bad day. I'm glad you give me your your faith here. Toycat is so brave to speak against Java. Yeah, no, 90% of Minecraft YouTube is the Java version, because that's what most Minecraft YouTubers play. But 90% of Minecraft players, or maybe it's more like 80 to 85%, but the majority of Minecraft players are on Bedrock. Stop it! Stop! It's not okay. It's not... Hate. I should have just torched the end first. I knew I should have done it. Like, look at all these blocks we're going to have to patch in as we go. But it's fine. I've got enough torches to light up the remaining spots in the end here. And then to go down there and to do the same. I got Java for free when I bought Bedrock with Windows 10. I thought it worked the other way around. I didn't realize that it worked from Bedrock to Windows 10. How nice. I'm going to go now. Thanks for streaming, Toycat. You're welcome, Dirt Bikes Are Life. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Relocate the Enderman. Let's have some forced relocations. That'll teach those Endermans who is boss. So yeah, we're going to just have a lot of torches in mildly weird places, including down here. With the basic goal is just that Endermen shouldn't be able to spawn anywhere that we want them. Why do you stream at 10 o'clock at night, dude? Says the dude doctor. So first of all, you've asked that question so many times. And have you ever considered the answer is like, those are the times of day I stream? But ignoring that, let's leave that to one side for now, shall we? No, honestly, it's the most convenient time for me. And it also works the best for most viewers. Like, I've tested a lot of live stream times. The mornings work surprisingly well for Australians. I'll give you that. But, outside of, you know, fun little Australia jokes that we like to poke. Did that happen? Did someone steal the block the moment I placed that? Did that seriously just happen? Anyway, also, yeah, there's so many sand blocks down here already because Endermen have moved them down here, which I think is kind of amusing. I mean, it's tragic, but it's also amusing. This is the best time for New Zealand. I mean, it's kind of like early in the day is good, but also it means that if you have work or school, you often can't watch. And a lot of the population have work or school. Especially a lot of the YouTube consuming population. Because retirees don't watch much YouTube. And I mean, I guess probably like people who are not currently employed probably do too. I don't know, actually. You know, I guess it, like, probably. But I think the demographics of people who don't, like, most people watching YouTube sadly have a thing to do during, like as far as, like, school, work-wise. And that's why the best time for Australia is in the morning for the UK. That's my observation so far, at least. Oh, okay, always scary to know. So now we're going to torch up each of these islands. We could destroy them in their entirety, but I kind of like them existing as their own thing. So one torch in each of the corners. And then just in case, one in the center. Then we fly to the next island. I'm so scared of this every time. Fly up. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Torch this one up. Nice and easy. And then we're good. Let's see if we can glide to this one without having to... Oh, no. Okay, we need a firework. It seems. Thank you very much for the super chat. I'm assuming it was a Streamlabs. No, it was a super chat because it was so short. Toycat Taxia, says Molly. Hey, thank you for the Toycat Tax, Molly. You know, Molly goes on my list of, like, vaguely not my favorite name. I'm sorry, Molly. You know, what you subscribe for, what you pay your taxes for is honesty. And Honesty Today tells you, Molly, not on the list of greatest names in the world. Oh, here's a pro tip. Here's how you kill Endermen without having to deal with them. You just give them a slow nudge, and then they fall over. So yeah, we've got like 4 Endermen. Oh, they're spawning down there now. This is such a complex end island to deal with too. It does not help my cause. What does the multi-shot enchantment do? After the next update, it becomes epic is what it does. Okay, let's go. No, the multi-shot enchantment is a enchantment that allows you to fire 3 shots at once. Right now, the 3 shots can't hit the same target. After the next combat update, which again is a time you should be very excited for, it's going to allow you to hit all 3 shots on the same target. And it is going to revolutionize PvP. It's probably going to have to be nerfed. It's going to be that good. But you should be excited. Is it bad that I spent £22 on Amazon for berry and pineapple Fanta to get today, Toy Cat, says Lieutenant Raji Cat. So first of all, clearly, you know, I can see the Toy Cat influence there already. Second of all, I wouldn't actually say it's too bad. Like, it sucks that it's so expensive. But, I mean, you wanted sugary Fanta, and you got sugary Fanta. Sounds to me like you're winning today. That's what it sounds like to me. Just found out PS4 doesn't have Realm shit, and there's no way to partial out with someone. What's the point of switching to Bedrock? Yeah, two of the biggest benefits of Bedrock haven't come to PlayStation yet. Like, they didn't tell us until literally, like, 8 hours before it launched too. So a lot of the information out there is like, oh yeah, you'll be able to play with your friends. Questionable decision. But it works, I guess, so sucks. But sadly, there's no requirement not to do that. So, if you have £22 spare, spare enough. It's fair enough. You know, there's this interesting duality of, like, making bad decisions where, like, if you have the money and value it more than you value that money, you should do the thing. The only problem is sometimes people incorrectly value how much money they have. And I'm going to assume that Mr. Rajikit does not incorrectly value his money. But if you did, which you wouldn't know because no one thinks to themselves, you know what, I don't understand how much the value of the things they have are. Because no one thinks that, there's no way to know for sure. But that would be going back to the thing I said earlier, like, you know what, probably shouldn't be doing that. Probably should be putting that money in some form of savings. But you know what, that's on you. Why is he putting sand under the torches? To help Endermen steal them easier, of course. Mega Stream collecting honey bottles, the WWF. I've got this real problem though, I hate animals. Like, I would donate to a charity that killed, and I can't play this joke off properly. What I'm just trying to say is I like plastic straws, I hate turtles. Please don't throw meat on me. I mean blood on me. Meat blood on me, I guess. Please don't do that. I love animals. Just not bees. I do hate bees actually. Controversial, not controversial opinion. Bees suck. Anyone who disagrees is a bee shill. They're bad, you know. They're not good. So let's kill the rest of these Endermen. Look how fast I can swing my sword with this haste effect. And yeah, we just want to get them off the end. Relocate them, if you will. Make them give my sand back, most importantly. And then they should stop spawning after this. I think we have to torch that area up as well. And there's a few more areas that we're still kind of gunning for. We just want to have way fewer Endermen spawning. And that is an achievable goal, as it turns out. So, kill the Enderman. Kill the Enderman some more. And now, look, we get our sand back. It's totally worth all the effort we're going through. So Cat's basically being Patrick, picking up his desert and moving it somewhere else. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, I guess. You're not wrong, I guess. Place a block with a torch on it. Keep on doing this around the place. Yeah, it's much harder to properly light up one of these areas, I will say. That is a genuine struggle. Also, we have to disconnect our end island from the next one over there. That's going to be a whole problem as well. Because Enderman can teleport across pretty big gaps. So we have to light up the other side. Okay, wait. Let's just knock him off the edge. Oh, that didn't work. So knock back over the edge, just like that. I lost my sand block, but I got rid of the Enderman. So it was a pretty fair trade. Now we fly down there. We do this. Oh no, I didn't want to annoy you, buddy. Didn't want to annoy you. Do the same thing to him. Light this up so he can't spawn. And so on and so forth. Ad infinitum. Ooh, there's some stuff over there. AA batteries. Toy Cat, can you speak some Spanish for me? Hola. Me llamo Toy Cat. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños feliz. Cumpleaños feliz. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful birthday song. I hope, you know, I think you did. I know you definitely did. Toy Cat, are you a failed painter and planning to move to Germany? High quality joke. High quality joke. Honestly, I think art school applications should consider not only the quality of art, but also the potential for future genocide. You know, like, it might be worth having one bad painter in the world to avoid having 1 billion dead human beings in the world. Controversial opinions of Toy Cat. No, 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 no. It's fine. I'm fine. Only 7 blocks away from death. I've got to chill. That hurts the Mexican in me. Are you saying that wasn't beautiful Mexican I just spoke right there? I'm offended. Yeah, no, it's funny. In America, a lot more people learn Spanish than the UK, because obviously there are a lot more Mexicans in the US, and also you border Mexico, which is the largest Spanish-speaking country. But in the UK, Spanish is like an optional 3rd language. And I don't know, I think they forced me into it, actually. And then they forced me out of it after that. School's very confusing, okay? It doesn't have a consistent message. Sometimes they want you to do a thing, sometimes they don't. Bad pronunciation of Spanish. You know what? The person asked me. I didn't ask to do Spanish. I'm not good at Spanish. That's not a thing I can do. I was very reluctant. You know, I just want you all to praise that I even know those Spanish words. Can we give me a tap on the back for that one? No, yeah, languages are not my forte in the slightest. If that has not become clear yet, I'd like to add it up. The UK is extremely uncultured with learning languages. Well, now you're making this a racist thing, a nationalist thing, right? Like, oh yeah, the UK just is bad. It's just that the languages don't, like, there's no, the only way to really learn a language is you have to practice it at some point. And there's no situations where you practice language as a British person. As an English speaker as a whole, I'd say. But and again, in America, it's a special situation. In Australia, it's the same thing. It's just, you know, everyone thinks Australians are chill enough that no one minds. Like, no one ever sees Australians because they're all the way down there. But they've got the same problem where, like, there aren't any countries nearby that would allow them to learn a language. Okay, let's fly over here. Light this one up too. 4 torches. And yeah, we're making a good bit of progress. Oh god, I would say. I think I looked at an enderman. Let's just nudge you over the edge real quick. Hey, that's pretty rude. Okay, you know, I'll just knock him. It doesn't matter if you fire the thing. Hi from Australia, just came online. You're talking about us as eggs and beans. You know what? The thing I love about talking about Australians is thanks, I'll use that in my Spanish GCC. Yeah, the trick is to pronounce the H in holler. They'll all say it's silent, but like, I mean, how silent can a H be? That's my pro tip. Will take you very far in your Spanish GCSE. But no, yeah, my story is I tried to take Spanish for GCSE and they literally kicked me out of the class. They literally, like, my Spanish teacher was just like, no. First day, just no. And I was like, okay. And ever since that day, I've decided to prove my Spanish teacher wrong. That's why Toy Cat is yes. That's the real origin story behind the name, or behind the meme. I don't even know what it is at this point, just a reference. That's the name, that's the origin behind the thing. So, I've been trying to see election B with MMP voting, but I couldn't work out the calculations. You think you could for IBX 2cat? I'm sure it's already out there somewhere, if we're being honest. Like there are people, especially like the electoral reformers, will be like, they'll put the calculations out there somewhere. I think it'd be fun to go through, but like, I don't want to beat the dead bush that like, yep, current voting system sucks. If you're not using your vote to fix the current voting system, then, you know, you're using your vote wrong. But I don't want to beat that dead bush. So that's why I haven't made a video talking about it too much. That's why I just mention it as like, oh yeah, that sucks, by the way, every now and then. Just a reminder that there should be a better one, right? Same thing happened with me in Spanish, says Sassy and Farsian. Oh, that sucks, man. You know, I think that's a clear sign that Spanish teachers should be exterminated systematically. See, this is why they should let me into art school. Now I'm gonna go do an art teacher genocide. And we could have just avoided that with one quick. I tried to hit the Enderman so hard. But yeah, sucks, Sasson. Also, thank you, Sasson. I don't know if that's even how you say your name, but thank you very much regardless. Toycat es oui. Toycat, can you talk French? So French we're meant to learn from age like 11 all the way to like age 15 in the UK. Maybe even younger, 10 to 15. Like legally it's required. However, in year 5, my school tested a thing where they didn't teach us French. God knows how they got away with that. They're like, what if we used French time instead to do an extra PE lesson? And then the kids wouldn't be so fat. And given that being fat is more detrimental to your health than not speaking French, it's an easy, like, seller, I guess. Or, like, it sounds like it is to me. Then in year 6, our French teacher was sick the entire year. So we had supply teachers. The supply teachers are general teachers, so none of them knew any French. So they couldn't teach us anything. And then in year 7, we had the same teacher. She was there for the first 4 weeks in the year. And she was, like, upset with how little French we knew. And then she went away for the other 6 months of the year. You know, really, I don't know how that teacher still was on the payroll after leaving for like 1.5 or 2 years, or 1 3/4 of 2 years. And then for the last year, we finally had a French teacher, but we were so far behind that she was just depressed. Like, you can't even say colors, guys. Like, these are basic things. Like, she'd be like, you've got to learn to have a conversation, and no one would be able to do it. And it's like, well, about that then. I'm only in middle school. Thankfully, I don't have to learn a second language. I think it's a UK requirement more than a... Like, in America, I think schooling's much more delegated to the local level than countrywide. Whereas in the UK, there's a few more things that are done the way I just mentioned. Okay, so up here, we'll have a block. Let's place the torch there, just for fun. OMG, your French experience is relatable. French class, my teacher was just her giving us answers to the questions. I don't understand why every French teacher has the same thing of, oh, you don't know this thing? You idiots. And it's like, is that how you learn French, is it? You call your class idiots and you hope that they learn? Like, language classes have such high expectations compared to every other class. Instead of looking at how well you are, like, at least this is my experience in the UK. This is maybe why we suck as a country at language. Instead of looking at your current experience and teaching you from there, they would expect you to be at a certain level, and when you're not, they would give up. They'd be like, no, you're at this level. And no one would be at that level, and we'd all fail, and they'd be like, you should be at this level. And it's like, that's not how teaching works. You can't just... Instead of teaching, they just expected results, and that was just it. And expecting results is not how you get things out of children, as it turns out. Who would have figured? They have high expectations, but they aren't a hard class. Yeah, I think in general, like, learning language theoretically could be easy enough. Man, the amount of torches I'm losing to these darn guys. Real problem. Real problem. Place another one. Because then, as soon as they make a torch gap, they allow other Endermen to spawn. It's like an eternal game of... okay, let's place some down here. Slowly running out of torch places, but it's fine. I took German for 3 years and hates every second of it, mainly because I'm from New York and I've seen maybe 2 Germans my whole life. Yeah, that's the thing. Language is only a tool to communicate. Like, a lot of people try to make the culture argument. I don't know if I buy it, but if you do, sure. There is some culture in language that can't be translated to other languages for reasons. But even if that's a big argument, it's like language loses power when you can't use it to communicate. And it loses relevance too. So I totally agree with the thing of like, yeah, if you live somewhere where you never get to use a language, why would you learn the language? I can see why that becomes like a tricky thing, right? Isn't this the guy who covered his end in glass? There's 10,000 subs in her videos. Look, it's a different part of my end, okay? Also, maybe I'm just gonna, nuclear bomb my end island and turn it into glass. You don't know me, you don't know my life. I learned Japanese to watch anime. I've heard so many people with the same story. It's pretty amusing, actually. It's pretty amusing, truth be told. So, why are you placing sand in the end? It's part of a terraforming project, Mr. Brazilian Tio Limbo. Hope that answers your question. I love learning languages, taking Spanish and learning Chinese. It helps with understanding English better. Yeah, like, that's the biggest thing to me. Like, linguistics is a cool field, because there's so much you can learn about communication from it. But when you're teaching a language that, like, again, in America, Spanish makes a lot of sense. In the border regions, yeah, learn Spanish. Like, learn to speak to those people who otherwise can't speak to you. And also that big country nearby you. And also all those other big countries nearby you. Like, if you live in America, like, 20 of your 30 nearest countries all speak Spanish. Yeah, that's great. But as far as, like, if you're trying to learn Russian and you live in, I don't know, Spain, you know, maybe it's better to teach Russian as, like, here is how language is structured. Here's what you can learn more about Spanish from it. Make people smarter in general rather than just this one subject. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where, like, language teachers are, by definition, going to be people who love the language, either because it's their native language or because they're, you know, they're not going to be naturally people who understand that you don't need to learn it. My French teachers were always trying to make French trips, which was, you know, trips to France, I should say, which was a clever idea. But those trips cost a lot of money that most, I mean, I couldn't afford. I guess my parents could not afford on my behalf. But then it's like, oh, so now the rich kids need French, but no one else. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Also, where are all these, why are they spawning here in particular? I really don't know. Okay, just kill the Enderman, get the sand back, fix the torch problem. I guess there is like a big black spot between the torches here. It doesn't stop it being annoying though. Doesn't stop it being annoying. So, so it can't make me smart. Okay, step one in being smart is to look up the meanings of lots of words. You gotta say lots of smart... My history teacher once was like... Not my history... Yeah, actually, I think it was history teacher. No, geography teacher, funnily enough. Though she taught history. For some reason, when I was in school, they combined the subjects and called them humanities. But my humanities teacher... I used the word lashings in like... When I was like 13, I don't think it's a particularly fancy word. But she was like, oh my god, this English level is incredible. It was a teacher from South Africa, funnily enough. Really weird story behind her. But basically, yeah, there was this whole thing. It was a teacher that just loved my use of the English language because I used one fancy word once. And she liked me forever after that. And I guess the lesson here. Also, there's so many Endermen. Where did you get that grass block from? Did he take some of the... I hate this all. I hate these guys. Please leave. Please don't be here anymore. How are there so many? I spent all this time torching up my end. And in exchange, now we've got this many dudes just roaming around. I think the trick is to fly away, and then when we fly back, they should have vanished. Let's see if that works. Let's go over to this random end island over here. It's a nice end island, right? Can't wait for the end update to make it not terrible. Look at all the Endermans. Oh, Jesus, that was close. Wait for the Enderman to spawn. And then we fly back. And they should have, emphasis on the word should have, despawned. Well, that went well, didn't it? Oh my god. Okay, I guess we're just gonna punch them individually. Just let them hit me, because it's fine. You know, I like it when you do that, Enderman. I like the end music. It is quite successful. It is quite successful. But yeah, so we've kind of been derailed on our sand placing solely because of these Endermen. Like, this is genuinely frustrating beyond belief to me. I don't know why. It's like, I don't want to play sand and have all of these guys ruin it for me. I almost am tempted to, like, turn on peaceful, just despawn them all that way. But I know, oh, just die. You know what? How about I just leave them be? I'll walk them over to the edge, and then I'll knock them off. No, no. You didn't see me do that. Just stop it. It's just, I want you to... You just need one clean hit on an Enderman, and then they're dead. But they're standing in the middle of the end now, in a place where I can't do that. Maybe we should put something on top of the sand to stop them stealing it. It's a whole problem, okay? Cover the end island in honey blocks. We can make a bee island. I would like to be in charge of my own destiny. Also, okay, we got one more set of sand to place. We're just going to ignore that Enderman exists for a bit. We're going to let them move, and we're going to let them move sand around, because eventually they'll move it in a way that makes, like, they'll make a more interesting desert, I guess. You would hope. And in the meantime, we can fill in the gaps. Make iron golems. Iron golems don't fight, they don't fight things. Half slabs. I wish we had sand half slabs. It would be a weird plot, but it'd be cool. How much longer will you be streaming? Says Noobmaster6942. Probably another 10-15 minutes, I would expect. I don't know for sure. Toycat, did you go to a Montserrat school? What is Montserrat school? Okay, I'm going to Google it right now. Montserrat school. A Montessori Education School is a child-centered educational approach focused on scientific observation of children. I wish I did. There's so many like cool versions of school that I wish it that I've heard existed in the abstract, but I've never seen personally. I personally, I think that I think a Montessori school, whatever it is, that sounds cool enough. I wish I went to one. That'd be nice for me. But to answer your question, no, I did not. Like I think school should be based on. School should have an approach of like. I would love to see the difference between schools where there's no focus on deliverables. The only focus is on learning, because it's unenforceable. But it'd be a really interesting thing to see, like what happened. You know, how are those people who spent 18 years of their life just learning facts versus people who spent 18 years in the exam system? Because a lot of the school experience isn't there to teach you things. It's there to teach you how to behave in the modern world. Like, oh yeah, the teachers have authority, absolute authority, by the way. That teaches you how, you know, various relationships should work. You know that degree or that GCSE or whatever you get. It's not there to prove that you know a certain amount. It's there to prove that you were told to do a task and you could do it to that level. It's harder for some people. It's easier for some people. But the fact that you could do it shows a certain amount of like, oh yeah, the people who literally couldn't get any grade, they're either, you know, they're potentially not smart people. But more importantly, they could be smart people that are just unable to motivate themselves, even for a very important decision that they know will affect the rest of their lives. And that's interesting, but also be like, you know what if we change schools and try to change society that way? Maybe we can make a better world where like stress is not an accepted part of life. Although maybe like stress is kind of like self-bullying in a way. To bring the stream full circle, sometimes the reason that humans have more emotions than one, you know, if happiness was the best emotion, we wouldn't have any need for all the other ones, right? But the reason we need fear is to avoid bad things. Fear is a pretty normal emotion to have under some circumstances, because there are situations you should be rightfully fearful of. There are fewer of them. But in the same way, like, stress is a way of, like... Actually, I think stress is a pretty counterproductive emotion in the modern world. Like, when I get stressed, I do less things. Like, if I get really stressed about doing a task, I just stop doing the task and stress about it instead. So that's counterproductive. But, like, there are emotions that, like, again, like, I think shame, like self-shaming, things like, you know, self-bullying or whatever. I think using sadness to produce future happiness in, you know, in alignment with your goals isn't such a terrible thing always. Humans only need two emotions, anger and confusion, says the Chugling. Can we please get the orange square? It would make me very Welsh, says Boydo. You know what, Boydo? You ask and you can receive. Look at my background. My background's amazing. Give it a look. It tastes just like raisins. Imagine if deserts had sandstorms and sand deposit and layers in the same way snow does. That'd be really cool, actually. You know what? Why don't we live in a world where that's true? Why do we have to live in such a sad world without that thing? It's pronounced Montessori. Montessor. Montessor. That's definitely how I'm going to say it. Stuff with Dre. And stop eating kids, France. The best stream ever, Welsh Squares, says David Slowana. It's crazy, the love that this orange square gets. It's just an orange square, you know? Like, it doesn't even feel that special. Yeah, I'm groping your orange square. I am positively molesting your orange square, chat. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Orange squares, again, any consent here. Still don't know what snowier snow could even mean. So, what I've heard, and I really hope it's not true, is that snowier snow is just Bedrock snow coming to Java. I hope it's not correct, but still. Also, my school isn't going to allow phones next year. Why does your school allow phones this year? You know, okay, chat. Again, I have to do like a check-in on this every now and then. Stop touching my orange square blush. But, Copper successfully dodged for this stream, says Rapture remembered. See, now you can't argue. Again, like last stream, the way we did it was just like talk about, you know, childhood myths like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. Tell kids their parents don't love them. These are the sorts of pro tips that can lead to avoiding the copper issues. You guys like the orange square? Apparently, people like the orange square. I don't know why, but they do. The orange square is a commentary on all the copy-paste YouTubers out there that just do what other YouTubers do and make it by, says Daniel. It is funny, actually. I have considered, like, once you become a certain level of successful on YouTube, you don't need to come up with ideas anymore, unique things. You can just follow the trend machine of all the other YouTubers. And a lot of YouTubers do have careers of just, like, what are other people doing? I will do that. And I think that's, like, hugely interesting. Because it implies that there is one type of content that people want to watch. And when that runs out, they want to see other YouTubers do it. That Enderman has my cactus. You know, it's singular cacti. Live with it, internet. But, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. So we have just, like, one more inventory load left of these to do. And then we'll be gone, chat. So this is your last 5 or so minutes to, if you have any things you'd desperately like me to know before the end. Orange square is less than, says Nicholas Carolelio. Ooh, you have the controversial opinion of the stream. So, Kat, you should learn International Sign Language or British Sign Language because then you can talk to deaf people. Actually, I think you'll find you can never talk to deaf people because they're deaf. Thank you very much. But, no, yeah, I do definitely think, like, unlike French people who have the option of learning English, I shouldn't laugh at my own. I shouldn't laugh before I finish. If I'm going to laugh at my own jokes, I should, like, finish the thought first. Like, deaf people have no choice in not being able to speak English. And therefore, like, you know, sign language makes sense on that level. Honestly, if there was an international sign language, I would be more hyped to learn it. But I don't like that there are different sign language. Like, even English-speaking countries, there's, like, 3 different English sign languages. And it's like, why is that? Whose idea was this? Fun fact, deafness is a spectrum. You can talk to some deaf people. Oh, same thing's true for blindness, actually. To be legally blind, you just need to see really badly. And that's why the phrase legally blind is so interesting to me. Because most people don't just see nothing, they just see very little. Promote your Instagram more, says Rehab. Okay, you know what? Right now, for you, Rehab. Everyone, follow me on Instagram at IBXToyCat. I make an Instagram post like once every 2 months. So even if you don't like me as a person, you won't see many of my posts anyway. So it's not even a real problem. But, you know, on the other hand, if you follow my Instagram, when I meet random strangers who are attractive in real life and they ask, oh yeah, what's your Instagram? I'd be like, oh yeah, here's my Instagram. Got 10,000 followers, you know, kind of a big deal on the internet. So, do you want ToyCat to be successful with women on the with fame-hungry women in real life that don't understand, you know, social media? You know, you gotta follow me on Instagram. There's my sales pitch to you. Get ToyCat the what word you use here? I don't know. Get ToyCat the pussy magnet Instagram followers he deserves. And the only way you can do that Also, Toycat is an influencer, confirmed. Purposely doesn't follow on Instagram. See, now if I die alone, it's all on you, Kyla. Yeah, actually, wait, that's how I can swing this. Let me swing this one around. Do you want me to die alone? Is that how little you enjoyed this stream? Well, if you don't, then follow me on Insta. Wait, actually, let's check how many followers we have on Instagram. Instagram.com/IBXToycat. Oh, I have 13,000 followers. Actually, you know, we've got enough followers. Don't follow me on Instagram. You don't need to. Like, 13,000's too many. Actually, yeah, let's please unfollow me on Instagram, actually. This is my big advertising campaign. I liked when I had 10,000. I actually, for a while there, I was losing followers every time I posted on Instagram. So, unfollow me all right now, and then refollow me when I post images, so I can feel like it's the images that are making me successful. So yeah, there's the most coherent message you've ever seen in a live stream. Have you ever watched The Office and Parks or Parks and Rec, says River Jess? I've watched Parks and Rec about 3 seasons and about 4 or 5 of The Office. I like The Office a lot. I don't know why I never watch it, but I do not. Caden Nonsense says, can I DM your Instagram? Please do not. I really am like a... I try to have as few forms of contact as possible out there. The very few ones I will concede to is like, give me a YouTube comment. I can read those sometimes. Like especially on the Let's Plays is where I read most of the YouTube comments. And live streams, I'm of course trying here too. Send me a tweet if something needs to get to me. And if for some reason it needs to get to me privately, you can Facebook message me, facebook.com/IBXToycat. And it's great. Do you have a GF, says Bobby Argerd. I do sometimes have a good fight. I do like to, you know, when you get some alcohol inside you, have a GF, a good fight, of course. But yeah, why does the sand look pink? It's a good question. It's a good question. Maybe your eyes. How can sand be real if our eyes aren't real, you know? Also, what if instead of having my webcam, we just have the orange square in the corner? That's a very great idea. I love that. But did you do Welsh in school? Sadly, I don't live in Wales. Actually, wait, quite happily, I don't live in Wales. So sadly, that's not a thing. Instagram has all my sad pictures from high school I've never taken down. I'm a big believer in the never delete your Instagram pictures thing. That's like, because, like, you should cover up murders, not Instagram posts. Also, off to work in about 20 minutes, just dropping by to pay my Toycat tax. Thank you for being a random voice on the internet who refuses to pronounce my name the normal way. You know, this is one of my specialities. You're welcome, Elizabeth. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday? Working on a Sunday, you know what? God would not be pleased. God would not be pleased. I guess the Jewish God. No, wait, Sabbath is on a Friday for Jewish people. Why is that? Can anyone, like, I don't know, tweet me because I'll forget. Why do Jewish people celebrate a different day of rest? Was it not the same 7 days? I'm going to need to look into that. You know what? Cover the whole screen in orange. Should I just get one of my stream layouts just to be pure orange? We can do that, you know. We totally can. We only have 2 more stacks of sand, internet. It has been a wonderful time knowing you all. If you liked this stream, give it a like and let me know. Give it a share if you really liked it. And if you care about my future success, why not watch another one of my videos all the way through? Because that boosts the watch time stat and makes me feel loved. That's right, watching my videos all the way through is the easiest way to help the channel. And the easiest way to help the channel is to watch them for 10 seconds if you feel like doing that. But yeah, if you watch this live stream and you want more content, every Monday I post a Let's Play. I'm going to be posting one tomorrow that involves that beacon you might have seen somewhere around here. Also, Elias Shuk says, during a dinner event, my family, parents, winery. Trust me, if it wasn't so desperate for money, I wouldn't be working. Also, here's a Streamlabs. See, Elizabeth Shug gets it. Elizabeth Shug understands that, you know what, sometimes the best form of money is a Streamlabs money. Tomorrow's Streamless can just be the orange square. Tomorrow's Streamless is actually something I haven't considered yet. I know it the next few days. I want to do for one of my days of Streamless. Like, I want to do, because we've got either 2 or 3 left. I think it's 3. I want to do a Cooking with Toycat before we're over with it all. So expect to see, in the not near future, Cooking with Toycat And we're going to do vegan food. It's going to be great. Or rather Beyond Meat. It's going to be a very interesting time that I hope you're all looking forward to. But yeah, just remember, watch Toy Cat videos, make I don't know, your internet daddy proud. And first is Sunday 7. First day is Sunday 7, the Shabbat. Wouldn't that make Saturday the 5th day? This last day? I'm confused. Is there any particular reason you stream on YouTube versus Twitch? Says Jasmine the puppy. I have a lot more YouTube subscribers than Twitch followers. And also I hate Twitch as a platform. And also Twitch's like partner rules are less fun. Also, you can't say a bunch of like there are so many like you get banned for so many things. Like if you stop using gameplay for too long, you get banned on Twitch. Like if I go, hey guys, thank you for watching this thing. If I do this for too long on Twitch, previously, I hope they've reversed it by now, you would have got banned for that, and it's like, what sort of a rule is this? Who comes up with these? But yeah, needless to say, not something I'm personally fond of. But maybe I'm the crazy one. But speaking of being the crazy one, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you liked it. I was rearranging shulk boxes without realizing it. Share it if you really liked it. Subscribe if you're around here. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I thought you were all of our boyfriends, says Gislimmer. You know what? You're right. I shouldn't be looking for new girlfriends. Well, I've got 2,000 of them right here. That was pretty offensive of me. You're right. But no, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you another time. Bye. I'm going to pretend that I've frozen. Oh, you ruined my freeze. Death to America, long live Stalin. Nice final message of the stream.